All right. Okay. I'm live. It's been a while. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. So far I'm not so sure that I do. My microphone does not sound that great to me. Let me see. Turn up a little volume here. Try not to pop my peas into the microphone. All those things that are annoying to listeners. Uh, Hi, this is Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, a very tired Ethan Van Sciver, somebody who's running around a lot today, getting stuff done. I went to the dentist. I just got back from dental surgery. I'm getting fangs installed. I'm getting fang. I asked my dentist. I said, are there dental ethics? Like, could I come to you and say, hey, could I get fangs installed or snake teeth? I want cobra teeth. And he said, there are definitely ethics. There are definitely dental ethics. And I could not do that. Hey, there's my friend Thanos EVS. Thanks for $1.99. He says, I just want pie. Thanos CVS, I had to explain your whole existence to my wife. She was down here in the basement, and I was on another stream. I can't. World Class. I was watching World Class Bullshitters, and you showed up, and she's like, "What Thanos CVS? What the?" And I had to actually explain. That's a purple picture of us. When we were at a concert, and there was purple light on our face, and then this guy took that picture of me with a purple face, and he called me Thanos. He called me Thanos. All right. So hello. We're waiting for some people to get in here. We've got like, I don't know, we've got like two or three people in here so far. Two or three people. Uh CB4 Public Enemy Steals here. He's my favorite troll in the chat. Uh He's running in his sleep. Wait, I missed part of that. I must have. It's a Trap Production says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Amy Minty's here. She says, hello, squishy hugs. Thanks for bringing us Cyberfrog. I'm doing my best to bring you Cyberfrog every single day. It's something else. Andrew Yen says, oh boy, EVS is trying to one up Japanese girl Snaggletooth. I just want fangs. I want to look like the Dark Lord. I do. I want to look as scary as SJWs think I am. Why shouldn't I look scary? Why shouldn't I have vampire teeth? I think that would be awesome. Mike Jenkins says, "What up? What's up with you?" The Baron 79 is here. Hello, 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 Mister V, and all of that. STFU Inc. says, missed you on the High Council last night. Yeah, sorry about that. That's the second time that I've actually had to go to bed before the High Council starts. It's not that I'm an old man necessarily, even though I am kind of an old man. It's just that, like, I wake up now. I wake up at like 3 a.m. I'm on this weird schedule where I wake up at 3 a.m. I come downstairs and start drawing because I've got nice peace and quiet. But of course, that means that I'm snoozing at 7 p.m. So I tried to stay awake. I was like holding my eyes open with toothpicks, and I was thinking, I gotta stay awake. I gotta stay awake for Jeremy and Jeff. It's the three of us. We haven't all been together on one stream in quite a while. I got it, and I finally gave up. I just said I'm sorry. And I'd gotten up, and worked really hard all day finishing the SJW Star Wars Sex Scandal Part 3 episode that I posted yesterday. Did you guys see it? Did any of you watch it? I hope you did. I hope you liked it. Yeah, Argos Creation says you seem to always have a weird schedule. I do. I work until I fall down, and then I go to bed, and then I wake up, and 6 or 7 hours of sleep, and I get to work. So that ends up kind of getting wacky. Thanos EVS again. Thanks for $1.99. When I snap, I shall spare Cecil. Well, you have to spare 50% of the world, Thanos EVS, and cut it right down the middle. I say destroy all far left wingers. That's not like 50%. But I mean, start there. Start there. Just take them out. Make them disintegrate into midair. All right. So people are saying, yeah, they watched it. They watched it. Good. Somebody said Bobby. Very good. Nate Havleck says, what's your thought on the Shonen Jump expansion into US Comics with their app? I have no thoughts about that because I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. I should probably research that. I've been very, very preoccupied I'm studying. It's like I'm doing Star Wars videos and I'm working on Cyberfrog. And maybe you guys haven't noticed. It's like I haven't done live chats or live streams. I really have just been my head has been down at the desk, and I've been really, really, really trying to work and make progress and produce great things for 2019. Because 2019 things have to change. Things have to get better. We absolutely do have to take this a step further. 1 year ago, man, 1 year ago, from this point, that 2018 has been the absolute weirdest year. For me, for my life, it has been the weirdest year. 1 year ago, in 2017, Christmas of 2017, I was being hounded and chased down by social justice warriors in the comic book industry, and it was awful. It sucked. Oh, by the way, Ian Howe, thanks for $10. He says, I'm so happy to have a live stream. We need to reinforce this positive behavior with money and pies. Oh boy, well, pies, the pies work. Absolutely. That's great. Yeah, like so 1 year ago. Now I woke up, I had a dream. Uh and I always remember my dreams. I'm going to start keeping a dream journal. But I had the weirdest dream. I had a dream that none of this happened, and that I was still working for DC Comics. And it was like current year, everything's the same. Ava is 2.5 years old. Andrea and I have been married for a little more than a year. And I go into DC Comics and I turn in my project, the last page of my project, and it was weird. It looked like a newspaper office. It doesn't, DC Comics doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like the Daily Planet from the 1977 Superman movies, 78 Superman movies. But that's how it was in my dream. And I turned in my page and I was like, to my editor, I was like, so what am I doing next? And he looked at me and said, we don't really have anything for you. We don't have anything for you right now. He's like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Now, in my dream, I had this feeling that like everything had changed. Like DC Comics, everyone who used to work there that I knew had shifted. That they'd moved on and they'd been replaced by other people. And this is what happens, over the course of a couple of generations. Like you have all these friends and people who advocate for you at Marvel or DC, and then things change. There's rollover. There's turnover. And so, I had this dream, and I remember in my dream, I was going home on a train. I don't know why I was going home from DC Comics on a train, but I was. This kind of took place in the 50s, but it was today. And I was thinking, I don't have anything to do. I have no work to do. And we're going to have to like live on savings and credit cards. And what am I going to tell Andrea and poor little Ava? So I had that dream this morning and I woke up from it. Have you had that feeling where you're unemployed and scared? I mean, have you had that feeling in the pit of your stomach? Well, that feeling was impending 1 year ago this year. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because I felt a powerful energy chasing me down. I felt an incredibly powerful, dogged energy of evil. And I'll say that I use that term advisedly. I think these people are evil, chasing me down and trying to utterly destroy my reputation and destroy my life. And so, I woke up from this dream and I went, no, everything's okay. And I just like exhaled, like, oh my gosh, like, no, that didn't happen to me. That didn't happen to me. I actually took matters into my own hands and I changed my life. And I feel like in some small way, I've changed the comic book industry over the course of 1 year. Over the course of 1 year, I went from being hounded, chased down, belittled, beleaguered, attacked, mocked, stalked, and totally harassed by the comic book industry and driven out to the point where they thought they destroyed my life, to having my first 7-figure year, earning 7 figures. So, listen, this has been a very, very strange year. Very strange year. And 2019 is going to be stranger, but in a different way, because 2019, I should say, 2019 is going to be much, much, much better. We're going to change things in 2019. We're going to actually grow things. I'm going to grow this channel. I'm going to actually, I was talking to Andrew about this. I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's like, when is Cyberfrog going to be done? I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. but this coming year is going to be huge. She's like, if Rainbow Brute doesn't work, they're going to be all over you. These people are going to be all over you, making fun of you. And I'm like, I know, I know. I was like, here's what you have to get used to. Because by the way, while I was in the dentist's office, she wanted to sit in the car with Ava. So, because the dentist was only about 20 minutes. So I'll sit in the car and wait, and then we're going to go. We went to the Cherry Hill Mall and did a little Christmas shopping. But she's like, while she was in the car, she's scrolling through Twitter and she's reading the hatred for me. Just reading the just evil. I mean, just bleh, disgusting, vile, ugly hatred for me, and thus for her and this family. And in essence, that's what it feels like. And she's like, these people are crazy. This is a sick world. And I was like, we have to get used to one thing, like, and this is where the idea for installing fangs came from. I was like, you have to get used to one thing. They've chosen me and others, but mostly me. Okay, yeah, you got Zach too, you've got a few others, you've got Umbrella Guy, Yellow Flash. You've got a few people out there who are going to be enduring this, but I am their monster. I am a demon to these people. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you just kind of take that into your heart and go, okay, like now affection for me is binary. I've never been hated before. Now I am. So half of the comic book industry utterly hates me, and the other half loves and adores me. And we just have to stick with the side that loves and adores, and just accept the side that hates, and just, I don't know. Do we try to feel love for these people? I don't know. As a Christian, is that possible? By the way, here's somebody with a Kurt Cobain avatar says, Papa Ethan, please teach me how to become an NPC. I don't know how to do that. Turn your brain off and just be afraid all the time. Just be afraid. Pocket Jack's Comics, thanks for $4.99. Can't wait to come on your show to talk about Guinevere and the Definity Factory, live on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Well, we got to talk about why you did both. Yeah, so I will absolutely have you on. Actually, your book, I've got to say, his book looks really good. Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. We are going to be pushing that. Let's see. Chasing you down wouldn't be hard. Someone says, yeah, you're right. Not right now. Michael Easterwood, $5 says, why does there seem to be a manic uptick in the Nazi talk from Renfamous about DNC? I saw some of that. I don't really know. I don't know what Renfamous is doing. I don't. It's hard to say. I mean, there's speculation that she's being paid. I can't imagine anyone would pay that woman to be a bitch. She'd do it for free. But okay, whatever. Yeah, I saw that I think basically what she does is she's trying to get Zach to come back to Twitter where she can sort of spar with him, and eventually her goal is to just destroy Comicsgate. But that's just not how it works. You being a leftist asshole doesn't really destroy Comicsgate. It makes Comicsgate stronger. Proves our point. Literal Gamer, $5 says, is the Star Wars sex scandal series done? I thought you said it was only going to be 3 videos. Yeah, that's a good question. It's not done. I realized as I was finishing episode 3. Well, I realized halfway through episode 3. Okay, if you've watched episode 3, basically we get to this point where it kind of diverges off. The center of the story, and to me, I'm a storyteller, so I don't even care about. I care less. I couldn't care less about hurting these people. They're awful people that I'm talking about. They truly are awful people. I'm not worried about like, hey, I want to condemn them for their actions. That's not what this documentary is about. For me, their actions speak for themselves, and the actions of the people who are condemning them, who actually are condemning them within the Star Wars community. It all speaks for itself. I don't need to add too much commentary. All I need to do is break it down and tell you a story. So as a storyteller, I've got this story to tell. I've done all the research. I've got all of the fragments and pieces. And basically what the end story tells is what a huge, massive mistake it is to become an SJW and join one of these fandom communities. It means your destruction. Especially if you're a man. I mean, if you are a man, especially if you're a white male, because, of course, you are on the bottom of the totem pole, the victimhood hierarchy. It is a massive mistake to try to join and surf the wave of one of these social justice warrior communities, because you will wipe out, and they are going to attack you. So that's what this story overall is about. It's about how awful these people are and what a mistake it is to try to live under their rules. You're subjugating yourself to a set of laws that sounds good, but in actual practical fact will destroy you eventually. So this idea of believe women. Okay, believing women is great, but believe women without evidence. Oh, well, now believe women without a victim. What the like? Okay, I need a victim. I need evidence. No. You have none of those. Just believe women who are talking on behalf of an unnamed woman who has no specific accusations or anything like that. Now, because of that weird situation, you've got this group of friends who I don't even know if they're friends, allies. Again, everyone's an ally within Star Wars fandom that have all been torn apart. And the one at the center is Bobby Roberts. He's the one being accused of sexual assault. He's a piece of shit. He's a horrible human being. I can't stand Bobby Roberts. It was fun. Uh, the one thing that I did that wasn't so nice was actually make fun of how he hides the fact that he's only about 4 feet tall, and I actually exposed that, which was pretty funny. So there's Bobby Roberts, and then there's Brian Young, who's his co-host on his podcast. He's another SJW piece of work. And by the way, like these guys all came after me, and I don't know who they are. Like as soon as I started making Star Wars videos, these guys started calling me a Nazi. So I don't mind exposing them. I feel no sympathy for them really, or no pity. At least initially I did. And I started to God, the weird thing is as you're making these documentaries, as you're like reading the tweets and everything, you're going, what's happening to these guys is exactly what happened to me, except I never asked for it. I never joined this community. I never ever tried to impose these crazy social justice warrior standards onto people. And I never attacked or assaulted anyone. I never stalked, harassed anyone. These people did all of those things. And yet, as I'm seeing social justice warriors attack people like Brian Young and tear their lives apart and box them into a corner, and people attacking Bobby Roberts without evidence, without anything, just these vague accusations, I do feel a little bit of empathy for them. I have a lot of empathy in my heart, and just enough for these animals. I do feel it. So there's Brian Young over here, and then branching off of both of these two guys is a fellow named Jason Ward and his wife Amanda Ward. Now, the interesting thing about this, Jason actually stood up to these people. Jason's an SJW, but when they confronted him with believe women, he said, "What woman?" He said, "Fuck you." He said, "What woman? What accusations? What are you talking about? Without those things, I don't believe anybody. I need something, and then I will rush to this woman's defense. But you can't just say, we're not telling you, and then expect me to fall in line. That's not right." And Jason took a big beating. Now, Jason Ward, who part 4 is about. So this spins off into part 4. Jason Ward actually started email or private messaging me when he heard that I was going to be making this documentary. He filled my inbox with a whole story about what's going on here that I had no way of knowing. There was no way that I would have figured that out based on the public tweets that I had. So Jason gave me this great big story, and I said that sounds plausible, but there's some holes. And then I got all of this other information filled in about Jason Ward. So the Jason Ward episode is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be, oh man, I've gotten so many people saying, please take down Jason Ward. I'm not here to take down anyone. I'm here basically with these documentaries, with this project, to show people what horrible, awful people SJWs are, even to each other, and why there is no point in trying to befriend them, trying to be a part of them, or ever, ever, ever subjugate yourself to them. If SJWs accuse you of something, tell them to F themselves. That's the best advice that I could give you. And that's what Jason Ward did. And because Jason Ward said, go F yourself to the SJWs, they hate him now. He's fallen out of his community, but they're not trying to accuse him of pedophilia the way they're doing to Brian Young. So that's what this documentary is. So we're going to get into Jason Ward in part 4, and then part 5 is the wrap up. What happened to all these guys? It's a really really good story. Does it mean anything? Is it about it's not about whether or not Bobby Roberts is a sexual has sexually assaulted someone. I'm not sure if he has or not. There's no way of knowing without a victim, without a story. It's not about that. It's about the way these people treat each other, and it's fascinating to me. Adjacent Culture, thanks for £1.99. Best wishes to you and your family. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Jason Green, thanks for $5. Get vampire teeth. You can suck the filling out of pies without anyone noticing it's missing. I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea. John Smith says you have to win over the haters with love and pie. Well, my thing is this: I will crush everyone in my path, and eventually I will succeed because I always do. Comicsgate will succeed because it inevitably will. It's just who's going to stop us? We don't. Here's the thing that's frustrating to anti-comics gators. They have nothing we want. There's like, you have nothing I want. I don't want anything from you. So you can't bargain with me. You've already completely exposed my personal life. You've told people on the internet stuff about me that was none of anybody's business, about my marriage, about prior relationships, about my finances. You've already completely played every card in the deck against me. I'm still standing. I don't want a job from you. I don't want to work for Image. I don't want to work for Marvel. I don't want to work for DC. I love DC. I really love DC after the royalty check I got this week. Love DC. I don't want anything from these people. So there's nothing that I want. My fan base keeps growing. Comicsgate's customer base keeps growing and growing and increasing. We always succeed. There's nothing they can do. So there's nothing really to talk about. We're going to do fine. And that's the problem. So what do you do now? I guess, what do you try to drive us to suicide? Good luck. I'm not going. I mean, that's what Zach is saying. Zach keeps saying over and over again, and I'm worried about him because he keeps saying, I don't know what these people are trying to do. Are they trying to get me to kill myself? I mean, that's what yeah, probably. It's a really sad thing to have to acknowledge. I will never say that aloud because I don't know. I have to grant these people some humanity. I don't think they're trying. I think if they saw that I was driven to suicide, some of them would feel bad about it. I think. I hope. I don't know. Maybe not. Alec Munoz, thanks for $4.99. Great year, EVS. Here's to building something great with Malin, Cecil, and others in 2019. Missed you on the High Council last night. Thank you. I wish I had been there. I do wish I had been there. All right, let me catch up. I'm way behind in the chat, and sorry about that. And we'll yeah. Aaron Alexander, thanks for $2. Pop the popcorn and watch them eat each other. Yeah. And Tar Goomba, thanks for 10 euros. Mr. Ethan, even LGBT people will be condemned if you don't adhere to community standards. It is exact same ethos as Soviet Russia. You're either with or against the state mentality. Love your work. Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. And I don't know why. I'm not really sure why that appeals to men. I hate to be sexist like that. No, I don't mind it. But like, if you're a man, why do you want to subjugate your? This is going to sound awful. Why do you want to kneel before women and do whatever they say when what they say doesn't make sense? When they're saying to you, believe women, and you're saying, what woman? And they're saying, none of your business. And they're saying, what are the accusations? They're saying, that is none of your business either. Just believe us. That's not a tolerable situation. That's not something that you can. I mean, that you would have to be a cuck. You'd have to be a cuck to actually put yourself in a situation where you will agree to believe no women, no woman, with no accusations. That's and then just kind of go, okay. At that point, you're operating on faith, and I don't trust any SJW. I don't trust them. So come forth with a victim. We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen this week in the comic book industry. That is perfectly okay. I'm prepared to believe her. I'm prepared to do everything I can to make sure that she is okay. And if she needs anything from me, or if I need to stand up and say that's wrong, what happened there, I'm willing to do that. That is a perfectly fair version of Believe Women. There's a woman, there's a crime, there's even a perpetrator in this case, and fair enough, everyone should be supportive of that young lady. Ian House says, what was the check for? The new Lego game? Oh, okay. I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was for Atrocitus. Guess what it was for? It was for Iron Heights Prison. Now, they'd already sent me a check for Iron Heights Prison, I thought. No, this was for the Iron Heights Prison mention in Justice League. And it was it was a load of money. It was a lot of money just to have Iron Heights be the prison location in Justice League movie. I tell you this, I will officially become a shill in this respect. I am never saying another bad word about the Justice League movie, ever. It was a brilliant movie. Everyone involved is a genius. That Justice League movie, sorry, I hated that movie. No, I love that movie. It was a great movie, and the people involved are brilliant. I mean, well done, everyone. I might even go out and buy the DVD. Mega Jetty One, thanks for $2. When Blue Shogun is done, can you and Anna help with art? I don't know what that means. Can you and Anna help with the art? You want me to help draw Blue Show? I don't know what Blue. Yeah, I'm not sure. Proper Jeremy says your attempts to destroy us SJWs will fail. You guys are calling me a shill now. Yeah, is that too far? No, I'm not gonna lie for money. I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna say bad things. It's funny. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not gonna say nice things about Ezra Miller. No, 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 no. Not unless Iron Heights is. No, I'm not. I'm not. I can't even say that. I can't even say that. Now I'm being called Ethan Young, Brian Young's shill partner. Oh, yeah, it was nice. It was very, very nice. I do, yeah. Well, I mean, look. All right, here's the thing. Let's be frank about it. Oh, by the way, emotionally exhausted says. Meanwhile, Jim Starlin can't even get a copy of his own book from Marvel. LOL. Yeah, I mean that's kind of yeah, that's kind of a thing. I heard him complain. He's like, I had to go and buy a copy of my own book at Marvel, or from the comic book store, just to see that it came out okay. I wanted to see how it turned out. Marvel didn't send me comps in time. I will say again, DC Comics has always sent comps on time. I would get my comps about 2 weeks before you guys were able to buy them on the shelves. 1 or 2 weeks, I don't remember, but I always had them beforehand, and I was able to look through them. And that was always they were always DC Comics runs the railroad just fine, absolutely just fine. So yeah, you guys are like, oh, what is this? Comic book girl pissed on Stanley's grave today. She said his elder abuse was his bad karma from screwing over artists and taking all credit for their work. Please do something about this, Ethan. J. Anthony Badaglini. J. Anthony, what can I do? Yeah, people. Yeah, people have been saying that kind of a thing about Stan Lee his whole life. I disagree. I never felt Stan Lee took credit for Jack Kirby. I never saw him do that, or Steve Ditko. I think he says I'm the creator of, and you know what? That's fair enough. I say I am the creator of Atrocitus and Iron Heights Prison, but I'm the co-creator. Jeff Johns did too. It's just easier to say I'm the creator of Atrocitus than I am the co-creator of Atrocitus with Jeff Johns. It's it just is what it is. Can we help out Jim Starlin? Here's the thing. I'm just thinking what Jim Starlin should. Marvel Comics really needs to fix things with Jim Starlin. I don't care if they do or don't. I like Marvel Comics when they're screwing up. I think it's funny. But I don't like Jim Starlin getting screwed over. Marvel Comics is now banking on two, at least two, no, four. Has it been 4 movies that have had Thanos in it? I mean, I'm thinking Captain Marvel will probably have Thanos in it somewhere, possibly, or maybe not. Maybe it's all going to take place in the past. But yeah, Thanos is a central key. Jim Starlin should be getting tens of millions of dollars right now. That's what he should be getting from Marvel Comics, and he should be everywhere. He should be being interviewed. He should be getting all kinds of respect. If he wants to do a Thanos book, he should be able to do a Thanos book. He really should have those kind of opportunities open to him. I don't know why he doesn't. I don't know why. What is this now? The third time he's had to complain about it publicly. I don't know why Marvel isn't embarrassed and why they're not doing anything about it. I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't get it. He should be wealthy. He should be happy. Marvel should be making a big deal out of promoting him as the creator of their most important supervillain right now. It's sad. I don't know. When I say this, I don't know what I don't know what kind of royalties he's getting. But he did say something like, I made more from a mention in Superman Batman than I made for all of my Marvel Thanos things combined or something like that in royalties. Believe me, I believe it at this point. I absolutely believe it. After seeing what it means to have a location like Iron Heights in Justice League the movie and what that amounts to in money, I believe that Jim Starlin's probably much happier with DC right now than he was. I mean, listen, I had a character. I've told you this story before. I had Angel, um, you know, the new X-Men version of Angel in X-Men First Class, and they gave me $800. They gave me $800. I had a major character in a big, gigantic blockbuster Marvel movie. It wasn't Marvel, but it was X-Men. Uh, and I received $800. I'm thinking if that situation were reversed at this point and DC was putting out that movie, you could add a couple zeros to that. It's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Yeah. People say, "Oh, Jim Starlin probably hate Comicsgate." Everyone hates Comicsgate right now. They have to. They have no choice. They fear Comicsgate, but Comicsgate's going to change everything. Demogenai, thanks for $5. Hey, brother, I just wrapped up a vid on the CW Elseworlds crossover. Did you see the shows? Also, y'all can come check out my vid. Well, go to Demogenai's channel and check out his video about the CW Elseworlds crossover. I have not seen it yet. I have not. No. Oh, wow. Look at everybody in the chat. We got Mike S. Miller here and John Malin. I really appreciate it. Starlin is the franchise now. Yeah, he is, John. He is. I played volleyball with him once. Jim Starlin doesn't mess around. I try. I played volleyball with Jim Starlin, and like I messed up. Like I don't know. I think I got in the way. I didn't. I messed up the setup so that he could spike it. I hit the ball in extra time, and so you only get 3 hits. And Jim Starlin was pissed at me. Pissed me. I was like, dude, it's just a game, and he was like, he was mad, dude. He doesn't play around. Don't get Jim Starlin mad at you at all. At all. And Marvel should know better. Jaegerbomb, thanks for $5. Slightly off subject. Is Deadpool keeping Marvel Comics afloat? Also, how do you think he would or could fit in the MCU? Keep up the good work. Deadpool is definitely keeping Marvel Comics afloat. What else do they have? What do they have? 1,100 Deadpool comics? Everybody, all the merchandise associated with Deadpool. I love this rumor, and I don't know if it's true at all, and it seems so far fetched, but I absolutely love this rumor that Marvel Comics is going to fold up shop in New York City and move out west, and I don't see why they wouldn't do that. So they're going to fold up shop in New York City because their lease is coming up. They have expensive real estate, but their office is a dump. Pack up and move out west, Burbank or something like that, and let me turn this up. And set up in Burbank and then just clean house. And then what they're going to do is outsource a lot of the comics to a company like IDW because they figure that they can probably make more money in licensing fees and licensing the X-Men out to these other companies than they would in profits from actually producing and selling the books themselves. There's something to that, most likely. That's probably a good strategy. So when you see people, you saw Chris Rial get rehired at IDW, it might be because there's a big workload coming. Now, this is just a rumor. It is but boy, it is a fun rumor. It is a really fun rumor. That would be the end of Marvel Comics. Brandon Moise says for $5 says keep up the great work, inspired by yourself, world class bullshitters, and geeks and gamers. I have started the Friday Moist cast. Nice. All right, check that out. EVS, was Iron Heights mentioned in Suicide Squad? I don't think so. I think they used the other prison. What is the other? There's another prison that's associated with Suicide Squad. I'm not really sure what it's called. I can't remember. So all of that is like, yeah. I know Zach did a video about it, and I went, "Wow, is that great?" It does. It totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Bell Rev, yeah, Bell Rev Prison. Iron Heights gets mentions all the time. I think in the Flash TV show and also on Arrow. Jeff Johns is cool like that. Jeff Johns is responsible, or he was responsible for managing the TV and movies at DC. So I think he used a lot of his own stuff in there, and of course I co-own a lot of those things, so that works out just great. Um, yeah, I don't. I think everybody look. I think everybody kind of realizes now that 2018 was a weird year. Firing Chris Real was weird. I mean, he deserved to be fired, but it was, or whatever it was, but it was weird. And you might as well rehire him because he's been there forever and he knows the business. It was just a little too extreme. Joseph Petrick says, "UVS thoughts on Godzilla King of the Monsters? I'm a diehard fan. What do you think of it so far? And what do the rest of you say? Yay or nay?" That's Godzilla 2. I know the trailer's out. I have not. You'll have to believe me when I say this. I am running around like, do you want to say chicken with his head cut off? Do I want to use that cliche? It's like that. I really haven't had time to sit down. I really just made sure that I do a Star Wars video a day at least, and just keep up my Cyberfrog work. So I've been meaning to watch the trailer for Godzilla, but I haven't seen it yet. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Godzilla versus King Kong. I I'm a I have all of the old Godzilla movies on DVD, all of them. I love Godzilla. I love King Kong. I'm definitely going to go to that movie. I think I'm more of a King Kong fan though than Godzilla. I think I prefer King Kong. Hugh Hoyland says, "Ethan, ever thought about directing a movie?" Hugh, that's a great question. Things are all. This is what's so great about this. I never thought that I could put together a video, but I'm instinctively, I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at editing a video, and all of this is storytelling. And if you have the ability to tell a story, you can do anything. You can make a movie. I mean, breaking down and telling this story, and it's a meaningless story, about the sexual abuse allegations going on with the SJW Star Wars fandom community. It's just a story. I could be doing this about anything. I just think that's an interesting story that's a little too tangled up. I got the story idea from Disney Star Wars is Dumb, that website. He's been kind of chronicling it and gathering evidence. Like he's the journalist, the researcher. But it's so tangled up that nobody can make sense of it because all the information has come out sporadically and over the course of I think 5 different articles. So for me to actually read it and then string it together into a cohesive narrative that puts all the evidence out and lets you kind of make your own mind up, it's just basic storytelling. And I love it. I love doing Cyberfrog. I love this. I don't see why I couldn't direct a movie. I'm really, really good at telling stories and I enjoy them. So it's quite possible. Yeah, 2019, 2020 are going to be fun years where things are going to change very quickly. You think about 2018, what I meant to point out was that I can't believe this all happened within 1 year. I can't believe that I left DC Comics in May. That was only 7 months ago. That seems like 7 years ago. Um it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I think 2019 is going to be even more fun. Mega Jetty One says, "How would you do a DC MC XO or shared or multiverse?" Um, I would just say shared. Would I say shared? I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. I mean, I've always said it, that if DC and Marvel coexisted, the Marvel universe would never have existed because DC heroes would have prevented all of the accidents that made Marvel heroes. The Hulk, like Bruce Banner wandering out into an atomic testing facility. No, no, no. Superman would have stopped that. Superman would have stopped the Fantastic Four's rocket from. He would have turned him around. Hey, it's not safe up here. All the dumb mistakes that happen that caused. I mean, most Marvel heroes, I hate to say it, became superpowered because of stupidity. I mean, they all did dumb things. They all did dumb shit, and it made them superheroes. That's why they sit on walls and cry in the rain. Uh, you know. So I guess it would be multiverse. It would have to be. Alec Munoz, thanks for 4.99. Not sure if you ever got into this or can, but what does Jeff Johns think about all this SJW crap in comics and society in general? Jeff is apolitical. Jeff has never expressed a political opinion to me at all. What do I think he thinks? I think he's probably a moderate liberal. You know, he's definitely not a right winger. But he lives in Los Angeles. He's a product of his environment, I think, and he's always been very good about keeping politics out of things. Until recently, I think he started to do some sort of anti-Trump stuff in the thing he's doing now with Gary Frank. You know, yeah, everyone's excited about Godzilla. I will. I'll watch the trailer. Tower Goomba, thanks for €5. My name is pronounced Tanya Bamba. Thank you, Tanya Bamba. Mr. Ethan, where do you think the line is drawn between sending a message and being overly political in comics? Tanya, I think it's about ambiguity. I think it's about it's not about. All right. Like the SJW Star Wars video that I'm making now. Okay, so I'm not going to. By the time that you finish watching this story, you are going to be able to make up your own mind about the information that I've given you. I'm going to try to steer you in a certain direction, hopefully, but for the most part, you're going to look at this information and you're going to decide for yourself. And I think the same thing applies to politics and comics. I think you want to kind of present both sides of an issue, and then maybe you can weigh one side a little bit more, but you do want to just make it so that people can get what they want to get out of the story as much as possible. I mean, there's some universal evils. I mean, racism is a universal evil. We don't like that. There's no way that a book should ever be ambiguous about whether racism is good or bad. But something like gun control, something like illegal immigration. I mean, these issues that we're talking about now, they are far more ambiguous, and people have different opinions about them, and their opinions don't make them bad Americans. So you might want to tell a story that makes it so that you, as the reader, you might have your mind changed, but you can make up your own mind. You're not being instructed. You're not being forced to think a way or encouraged to think a certain way. You can make up your own mind, and I think that's the difference between having ideology shoved down your throat and then just being political. And I really like comics that have a very subtle political message as well. You can look at, they're always bringing up X-Men. Well, what's X-Men? What's X-Men? Mutants represent gay people. Oh, they do? Well, what about the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? What about them? What's Magneto? Who? So apparently there are evil gays too. Is that what that means? Fascinating. Everything's open to interpretation. It's not. It's never. The best comics never lay it on the line. They allow you to think things through and decide for yourself exactly what's what. Use your own heart, use your own brain. Peter Armstrong says, "I like streams at this time of day. It's more UK friendly, right? Because it's probably, yeah, it's evening. It's like 8 o'clock over there or something." Antonio Malpica says, "Don't put me on timeout, but Venom was good." Oh, that's good to know. Also, Sonic the Hedgehog is having a movie coming out in 2019. I saw an image and it was a realistic looking cartoon of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I saw people freaking out about it and saying it was awful. It looked good to me. I don't know. Um, you know, it looked okay to me. He looked like he had a hedgehog face. Here's Comic Girl Ava. Thanks for 4.99. Wanted to say I've enjoyed your Scandal videos and your Cyberfrog art video was incredible. Keep up the great work. We appreciate you. Hail Caesar. Oh, thanks, Ava. Great to have you in the community. Community. See how that word just fell out of my mouth? Let me take that back. It's not a community. It isn't. It's great to have you in the movement. I guess is the right word to use there. But yeah, Earth Citizen '09 says, "Greetings, Uncle E. Sorry if you could have if you've been asked this before, but could you tell us the story of how you came up with Green Lantern Jessica Cruz?" Sure. I didn't come up with her. I was at Andrea's house, and Jeff Johns called me and said, "Hey, I need to create a new Green Lantern. She's Latina and she is uh, beautiful, but oh, and she was a bad guy at the time. Her name was Power Ring." And she is blah blah blah. I don't know, military somehow. And he just told me what to do, and I drew the first draft. He didn't like it, but he liked some elements of it. I drew the second draft. He said, "Perfect, perfect." She had like a camouflage vest and a big headband, and the thing over her eye, and he thought that was great. The design won the day, and I got co-credit for creating Jessica Cruz. Having said that, that's just one of those things where, uh, you know, creative partnerships are never 100% equal. They're never 50-50. That was about 90-10. That was Jeff Johns' initiative to create a new Green Lantern. He asked me to do the design because he trusts my sense of design. So that's how Jessica Cruz was created. Whereas something like Atrocitus was more like 90-10 in my area. The name was mine, the look was mine, Red Lanterns was mine, the symbol was mine, and Jeff created the sort of backstory. See what I mean? So, it all kind of evens out at the end. It still adds up to 50-50. Mega Jetty 1 says, "Not if Superman is limited to Golden Age powers." Yeah. Golden Age Superman was kind of, he could jump. He couldn't even fly. I like his costume a lot. It was great. Everyone's saying Jessica Cruz is awesome. Xgal08 loves Jessica Cruz. Yeah. Yeah, I created Atrocitus with Jeff Johns. Pink Lanterns next, please. Simon Oliver says. Oh, you mean the Violet Lanterns? Yeah, Violet Lanterns was just part of creating the spectrum. We said, look, it's Roy G. Biv, so Violet. What should Violet be? And we both just realized that obviously Violet was Star Sapphire. So Star Sapphire was the very first Violet Lantern and built from there. It was pretty simple, you know. Yeah. Ian House says, love the behind the scenes stuff. Well, I mean, yeah. I like talking about it. It is fun. Comic Book Bob says, love Dextar's story, sad and epic. That is all Shane Davis. Dexstar is entirely Shane Davis. He got to do the Red Lanterns, Rage of the Red Lanterns series. And I mean, there were a few Red Lanterns that I'd already created. Shane Davis felt weird about creating evil. Like I love drawing monsters. Absolutely love it. Shane Davis didn't really like drawing monsters. He felt bad about it. Like I don't know. I don't know if he's Christian, but I remember him just feeling like I'm drawing Satan's work, and not really liking it. And then, he ran out of ideas for satanic looking monsters. So he drew his own cat. And that turned out his cat's name is Dexter. So that cat became Dexstar and became the most popular Red Lantern, I would say. Dexstar is incredibly popular. So that was all Shane Davis is just stumbling. I mean, just a fluke, creating a really, really big hit character. Now, Dexstar has action figures and a plushie and appeared in the Injustice 2 game with Atrocitus. I hope Shane Davis got a big check for that too. Yeah, and I think Jeff Johns wrote that whole backstory about Dexstar. John Gonzalez says, "What are your thoughts on anti-heroes?" What are my thoughts on them? Well, what do you mean, like Punisher and all? I like them. I think vigilante justice is another power fantasy that we all have. Uh, you know, Sometimes being heroic and doing the right thing the right way doesn't feel good. It's not something that we want to think about. But taking power into our own hands, breaking the law to a just end is a nice power fantasy. All of these are just power fantasies. So I think anti-heroes just going nuts, doing whatever you want, like Deadpool, being a hero for hire, Merc with a mouth. It's all good. It's all good stuff, man. Whatever makes your imagination go. And there's Antonio Malpica again. Thanks for $10. He says, "Say the truth, EVS. You called me and asked what would be a cool lantern, and I said, hey, how about a Hispanic lantern? And you asked, would it work if she was female? And I said, that's gold. And I was like, that's gold. That's the truth. Critias just revealed the truth there. I didn't know you at the time, but I feel like I've known you forever now." Lucifer Love Monkey says, any traditional Cape characters in all caps comics? No, not yet. Not yet. I think Fearsome comes close to that. I'm really looking forward to Fearsome this year. Uh, that would be drawn by Kanan White. I think written by me. If I can't get Chuck Dixon, we'll see how Chuck Dixon works out. But I don't mind writing it. I find the thing is, and this might just be like kind of because I've worked with writers where the idea is like 100% mine, and I'm trying to get them to write what's in my head. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It always ends in a bad like argument, like or not a bad argument, but I'm always like disappointed. I'm always like, this isn't going in the direction that I want it to go in. So that's, I mean, Fearsome might be something that I have to do myself, and then just let Kanan draw the hell out of it. But that's pretty close to. I think that's more close to a standard superhero story, like something that Marvel or DC would publish, than Cyberfrog is. Cyberfrog is something completely different. Yeah. Another nobody says, "Do you have any thoughts on Harlan Ellison? I love Repent, Harlequin, Grail, Prince of Michigan, and Hold the Relish, and I have no mouth and I must scream." I have no thoughts on Harlan Ellison. I don't think I've ever read anything of his. I know he wrote a Star Trek that is pivotal. Pivotal. I haven't seen it. Isn't that awful? But somebody says Harlan Ellison is kind of like, if you go back to the 1980s, Harlan Ellison fought the Comics Journal. I got to do research about this, and basically split the fan community into sides. I mean, it was this thing where people were taking sides, and he was very divisive. And Harlan Ellison versus Comics Journal, I think, is the precursor to the way people are acting now about Comicsgate. I'd like to investigate that, see. But I wasn't reading comics back then, so I don't really know. And Mega Jetty One says, "PM me to share my Superman and Mary Jane story ideas." Well, I don't know. Pulse Method says, "Did you play Battletoads as a kid?" No, yeah, I know. You have to believe me. I didn't even know what Battletoads was when I created Cyberfrog. And I know that sounds funny. I was ripping off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Spider-Man and Spawn, not Battletoads. I know that they're both frogs, but yeah, Battletoads doesn't resemble Cyberfrog, not in any real way. Cyberfrog is definitely like, he belongs with the turtles. I was thinking this guy will work with the turtles. His eyes used to kind of glow and spit out like kind of smoke, like Spawn, and then I'd put him in Spider-Man poses, and that's where Cyberfrog came from. Not really Battletoads. Yeah, Liam, a Cossack Soldier, says Ellison has a YouTube channel, an excellent video on the death of Superman. You should hunt it down. He only takes written communications. Nice guy. All right, well, Johnny Gonzalez says, no, they're toads. LOL. Yeah, but toads are frogs. Did you know that? All toads are frogs. Not all frogs are toads. Like, they count as frogs. So Battletoads are frogs, but Cyberfrog is not a toad. So it is that. Yeah. Hugh Hoyland says, honestly, never heard of Battletoads. Yeah, Battletoads was a rip on Ninja Turtles. Everybody was ripping off Ninja Turtles. I'm no different. But I do take it personally when people think that I am ripping off a rip off of the Turtles. That's not true. I was ripping off the source. But yeah, Cyberfrog it was based entirely on, and I've told this story before. Cyberfrog came about because this Puerto Rican girl that I was hooking up with it brought me a porcelain frog, a coquille, from Puerto Rico. Gave it to me as a gift. I've gone into detail about that story. I was very young and handsome when I was 19. You have to believe me. I know that's hard to believe, but I was. You know, I was beautiful, and so I was hooking up with this girl, and yeah, she brought me a little frog, and that frog's face became Cyberfrog. Yeah, it became Cyberfrog's face. So, Cecil says, "Sure." Tanya says, "You're still handsome." Well, thank you, Tanya. That's nice of you. That's where the yeah. I call bull on EVS ever being beautiful. Now listen. Now listen. Uh, Lance E. Lotto says EVS, great channel, illuminating and entertaining. Check your email if you get a chance. Keep up the hard work. We all appreciate it. Yeah, I'll go through my email today and answer some people back. I'm getting questions from people, a lot of business opportunities, a lot of job offers and stuff. And I just don't have time. I'm really, really preoccupied and busy. Did you eat pie back then? You know, I did have hair. Oh my God, Al Lewis. I had hair. Ethan at 19 was soy. Yeah, I think if you saw me at age 19, you would have said I was soy based. Definitely. I was skinny. I had flock of seagulls hair. It was something else. Cam 1138 says, no, Jamal Igle said no one will hire you, EVS. They have this fantasy in their heads. Listen, I'm sure I'd have trouble getting work at Marvel. I'll get work anywhere else, and I don't want to. They can't at this point. I can't do that anymore. I just can't do it anymore. Well hung and dung, 2 pounds. And by the way, where's Jamal's work? Where's is Jamal working for Marvel or DC? Who's hiring Jamal Igle? Oh, I thought so. Well hung and dung. Thanks for 2 pounds. Why does Jordan Peterson sound like Kermit? I never thought he did. Everyone's saying that, and yeah, I never thought he did. Skinny Uncle E. Now we know. No, for real, guys. For real. Alec Munoz says, "Oh, here we go again with this. They want you to be homeless and penniless, CVS. It kills them that you're succeeding. Listen, the only reason I'm succeeding is because of you guys. That's the only, it's for real. The only reason why I am succeeding is because of my customers, my fans, my subscribers, this channel, and your support. And I said, oh man, we talk about this has been like a trip down memory lane. We talk about like what happened this year, and I said to you guys in April, I said I'm leaving DC Comics. I'm leaving it. It's just not safe. It's not a stable work environment anymore. I am going to do an Indiegogo campaign for Cyberfrog. I'm gonna try to crowdfund Cyberfrog. I'm going to fold my arms over my chest. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna fall backwards into this community's arms. And I'm going to see if you guys catch me. Don't let me fall. And that's what I did. That's what I did. And you guys didn't let me fall. You guys didn't let me fall. And I don't think you ever will. Yeah, I keep saying community. It's hard not to think. It's hard to give you guys it's hard to let go of that word because I really do feel like this has become a community. It is based on relationships. It is based on warmth. I have to think about it more. But I mean, just that kind of a situation where, you are able to just say, "Look, I'm going to try this, and I trust you guys to help, and you guys and catch me and make this work. We have to make this work, and you guys help me make it work." And subsequently, you've helped other people. You've helped John Malin make his dreams come true. You've helped Zach twice, 3 times. You've helped Zach 3 times so that he wouldn't have to fall. Um, like in immeasurable awe of everyone who visits this channel, of everyone who supported Cyberfrog, of everyone who follows me on Twitter, who subscribes to this channel, who comes to the live streams. I'm in awe of all of you. I appreciate you guys more than ever. And this could have been the worst year ever. This could have been absolutely dreadful. It could have been terrible. And instead, it's been a weird year, but it's been the best year of my life. It's been the best year of my life. Absolutely great. So I'm getting to do exactly what I want to do every day. I'm stretching different muscles. Not uh, I'm not working out, but I should be. I will be. I'm gonna work on that this year. I'm gonna get in shape. But I'm stretching different creative muscles, and I'm you know finding out that I enjoy doing things that I didn't know that I would enjoy do. I didn't know I'd enjoy making like videos and documentaries. I never even thought about making a movie. I haven't written songs in 10 years. I'm doing that now again. I mean, it's just fun. I'm just having a great time. So I owe all that to you guys, and I'm grateful. Tanya says, Mr. Ethan, I was wondering if you hold animosity towards the people who tried to ruin your career, how you handled it, and if you have any advice for people going through a similar situation. Tanya, I hold them all in contempt. Absolutely. I hold animosity towards them because they haven't learned their lesson. And it's not just me. They're doing this to other people. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what switch got flipped in these people's heads, and why they are so hateful. I assume it's because of fear. And I talk about this to my wife all the time. I said, Andrea, they're scared. These people are all really scared. That's what it comes down to. All of the kind of like, you can't get work anywhere, and they're afraid. This character named Ethan with hair. $1.99 says hello. Thank you. Yeah, that is a picture of me with hair. Uh, they're afraid. I think they all kind of feel that the iceberg is melting. They're like polar bears, and it's global warming. It's climate change, but it's real. It's not just a Chinese hoax. It's real. And the polar ice caps are melting underneath their feet, and they're afraid. Now, I have ideas. People like me are pointing out root causes for why this is happening, and the hatred that comes as a result of both succeeding in ways that they know that they can't right now, and also pointing the finger of scorn, which I do every single day, and explain why this is happening and what the end result is going to be, has created a destructive whirlwind of hate that I didn't know this industry contained. I had no idea. I didn't know this hobby was like this. So do I have animosity? I hold them in contempt. I think they're bad people. I don't care. It doesn't at the same if I had animosity, I think I would be actively trying to destroy each and every one. I'm not. I'm really not, you know. I'm kind of just doing my own thing and enjoying myself. I feel weird all the time. I feel like a little bit like upset at the way things are going in comics, but at the same time, I'm very, very happy, so I can't complain. Jacob Maurus for $10 says, I was watching some older vids, and a stocking point with Vox's comics for you was that he wanted to cut comic shops completely out. Will All Caps offer distribution for comic stores that request it? Yeah. All Caps is going to be entirely uh, comic stores. It's going to be all direct market, I think. I think. Uh, you know, because that's Cyberfrog Blood Honey is 70 something pages long. I'm going to split it up into 3 20-page, 20 something page issues, and I'm going to just offer it like Cyberfrog 1, 2, and 3, with the all caps label on it through the direct market. Cheap, $5-6 cover price, and put it out through comic book stores. That's what All Caps is, but All Caps is also going to be, like the bigger projects like Rainbow Brute and all the Cyberfrog books that I do initially, like Wrecked Planet and the third and fourth books. Fourth book is Green Supremacy. They're all going to be crowdfunded initially because I need a lot of money to produce like top-notch quality books. So, but other than that, then I'm going to break them down and offer them as sort of the floppy versions. I'm going to put those out through All Caps, through the direct market. I don't want to cut the direct market out. That's where people get comics for the most part, at least right now. So we obviously we want to sell comics everywhere that people are buying comics, if possible. And what's going to happen is these people are going to try to stop that from happening. We're just going to have to bulldoze right over them. If people want to buy my comics, we have to make it possible for them to buy my comics. Simple as that. Ethan with Harris says pie. Thanks. Thanks for $2. I assume that's for pie. I will spend it on pie. Liam says they have held fast to an ideology that does not sustain itself. Evil can only exist like a parasite on good, and the good is gone from the industry. That's sad. Nate Havlik says, what's your opinion on Eastern versus Western comic styles? There's more variety with Eastern styles or Western styles. I like Hong Kong comics. I used to go to Chinatown, and they'd make these great. They had all these great comics that from China. I don't even know what they were, but they were great superhero comics. And I took them. This was back when I was doing Impulse. There was so much motion and these wonderful uses of speed lines. I copied them all for my early issues of Impulse. You can see me kind of experimenting with line work there. So yeah, I like that stuff. I like all comics, really. At least the art, good stuff. All right. So with that, how was that? Was that a good live stream? I got to get back to work. Does anybody have any important questions that you're dying to ask? Spam away. He responds better to super chats. Well, no, I had to scroll through because I stopped the chat and then I get overwhelmed. Jay Anthony Battaglini says, if I win the lotto, I will fund the Cyberfrog movie. That's nice. Yeah. I always think about that. Like, it'd be so nice to win the lottery. It'd be so nice. We just buy a house, buy a big, great big nice house somewhere. Comic Book Bob says, "Oh, did you guys know Jerry the King Lawler is an artist? I found a video he put out about a portrait he illustrated for Vince McMahon with 3 generations of his family. It was awesome. How about that? Yeah. Uncle Ethan, did you see the end of last night's High Council? It was hilarious," says Elric Cayuga. No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to. I felt really bad about missing out. I'll watch it. Tim King, thanks for $5. Good afternoon, Uncle E. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. You too, guys. All of you have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. I love you all. I will try to do more frequent live streams, but you must understand. I'm doing my best to get Cyberfrog done. I think about you all every single minute of the day, and I'm so grateful that you've stuck by me and that you're a part of Comic Artist Pro Secrets and the Fandom Menace and Comicsgate and all of these great little groups that we've got here. Merry Christmas to you all. I'm getting back to Cyberfrog now. Thank you so much for super chats. And again, I will be putting up daily Star Wars videos. I will make an effort to do more live streams though, because I really do love seeing you guys. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.